right, fans, here we go. SparStar Promotions is proud to present 3 rounds of mixed martial arts in the featherweight division. This bout is sponsored in part by Yo Roy Tate. Once again, our referee in charge of this bout, Franklin Aguirre. And now, introducing to you first, fighting out of the blue corner, he is wearing black trunks. He is training out of Sin Miedo MMA in El Serrano by way of Los Angeles. He weighed in 141 pounds. His record, 1 win with no losses. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Pedro Moran. His opponent across the cage, fighting out of the red corner. He is wearing black trunks trimmed in gray. He is training out of Team Oyama in Irvine by way of Sanada. He weighed in 140 pounds. His record, 1 win with 1 loss. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Zayn Patel. All right, fans, here we go. 3 rounds of mixed martial arts in the featherweight division.
Okay, John. Very excited for this fight to come down. Of course, we have seen Patel in this cage before. Most recently back in July of 2024. He makes his return. This is the first time we will be seeing.
Oh, nice body kick, but caught by Patel. Jeez. Immediately taken down. Good guard recovery from Pedro. Gets to close guard. Can't see. Oh, he's controlling the wrists, both the wrists. Now just the one. Good overhook there.
You know what's really interesting about Patel is watch how he's using the top of his forehead as kind of a way to open him up a little bit more. That's something that you'll see with a lot of MMA fighters. They are not afraid to open their guard by shoving parts of their forehead and their temple into your body.
Yep, trying to get past the legs. Looks like he wants to just tee off and throw a heavy shot, but able to just make a nice angle. I'm looking for the back here. Patel, he threw that one hook in. Nice. And this is a tricky situation here, but well done to get that overhook from Pedro. He's not out of the woods yet, but over-under here. This is definitely, now we're in a even position. Pedro trying to put Patel against the cage, but Patel trying to do the exact same. And we'll see. So, Asoto, that's the problem with the Asotogari. You're in a symmetrical position, so you can also be a Sotogari yourself.
Or, for layman, the reverse Uno here.
You did use that Uno reversal card. Man. That was really nicely done. And now Patel puts himself into the half guard and into the full guard, which is, in jiu-jitsu, maybe not the best thing, but in MMA, if you're good at fighting on top in the closed guard, this is a great spot because you know your opponent is not going to stand up from here.
And Moran, he understands by controlling the wrist, controlling this. He's not taking any strikes. It's probably not a bad way to end the round if you were worried about how much damage you might take in the last 30 seconds.
Yeah, Pedro controlling the wrist quite well. Makes it a little easier when there's MMA gloves, but it's a good tactic regardless. And he was able to save himself from a lot of damage there because of that. So even though he ended up in not the most favorable positions, I don't think either fighter really took much damage that round. Curious to see what happens in the second round, what adjustments are going to be made.
It's interesting because now if you are seeing this and you're Patel, you kind of know, okay, his guards are not bad. Maybe you might get a takedown. He's kind of savvy about, trying to get takedowns himself. He got reversed. That did happen. But not really in major danger in a lot of that. And that can sometimes be a little bit debilitating when you're like, hey, what's going to work for me? Clearly we're seeing, though, some excellent dimensions to his grappling, though, John. I'm very, very, very happy with what I saw in this first round.
Yeah, Zayne definitely seems to have the advantage in the wrestling, at the very least. And if you're in Pedro's corner, I think the first thing you're telling him is to not throw any more kicks.
Yeah.
Right? Because he threw that body kick, and that's what Zayne caught, and was able to take him down.
So well.
Yeah, it was just one. It was the first strike, I think. Oh, nice punch, though, from Pedro, and immediately Zayne does not want any more of that. Drops down to single leg, but well defended from Pedro. Oh, good side kick. Oh, nice. I like the way that Patel is boxing into these takedowns.
Yeah.
Good double leg. Lifts Pedro.
I mean, just insisting upon that takedown, even when he got a little bit of some adversity at the very beginning of that sequence, John.
Yeah, and he actually caught Pedro a little bit coming in. He was just using those for setup for the entry into the legs, which he did successfully, but also connected too. So that's a nice bonus for him.
I do like Pedro's pummel game when he is pushed up against that cage.
Oh, good right hand from Zayne. Oh, and good left hook. That looked like it wobbled Pedro for a second.
Yeah, it might have.
We'll see.
A little more hesitant towards what he is throwing. Seemed to not take too much on that knee, but you're seeing a little bit of variation to what Patel is putting into this second round.
Oh, going for the 1-2. Looked like Zayne slipped that one just barely. Oh, beautiful level change and entry into this double leg and puts Pedro down. There was not even a setup for that one. He was just speed. That was this is very nice. Pedro is getting back to his feet pretty well. He's got
to worry about that neck here.
Oh, and he just lets the arm slip under. Okay, now addressing it. He wants to stand up too if he can shuck him over the top. There we go.
Gets his way out, John.
Yep. Good from Pedro's made some good adjustments here.
I was mentioning a little bit earlier, but I think as a whole, it's not just the fight for the grips. I think as a whole, you're seeing Pedro have some really good hand fighting all the way throughout consistently in this fight.
Yeah, definitely. It's he's not new to the ground game.
No.
Even though he's losing in the wrestling exchanges, he's able to get back up or get to a place where he's at least not taking damage. So, having said that, definitely Zayne is controlling where this match takes place. Whether or not he's done enough damage in the judges' eyes to win the rounds, that's a different matter. But it's still control. That should definitely go to Zayne. But I'll be curious to see if this does go to the distance, what the refs or what the judges are scoring that as. Of course, in one of the previous matches, I think it was the Bryce Olivas match, there was one judge that scored scored the entire match as 30-29, which means that two of the rounds were a tie, which is very unusual. So, not.
I see it written on your notepad here.
Yeah, I put it down, and then I just wrote out the round per round to look at it. I was like, okay, that's that. I thought maybe I was going crazy there. Like 2 tied rounds. It's just not something you see that often. And that one looked a little bit more decisive than 2 tied rounds. Oh, and good entry. Elevates Pedro, puts him on his back, stuck in this guillotine, and now on the close guard. The close guard guillotine can get a little tricky.
Yeah.
Pedro probably needs to be a little bit more on his right hip if he can be. He's trying to push that arm high, but that can be tough from here.
Yeah, I think he might have just found his little way out of it right there.
Yep, and nicely defended from Zayne.
With that guard open, it does make me a little bit nervous. So if you are Pedro, you kind of want to keep that closed guard as much as possible. I don't know that I see an opportunity with somebody who's so consistently on top of you as opening it being the right way, unless he really is trying to get this hook in.
Yeah, he lets Zayne pass over into half guard. And I think Zayne is looking for, he was looking for maybe a Dagestan handcuff. Yeah. He's got a tight waist right now. He drives Pedro flat, but Pedro is able to get back to the closed guard.
I just feel like this is such a good position for him. The hard part for him is doing something from there. It does make you a little bit more stuck to the position. So you do want to try and transition out of it, especially if you're losing the match. But look how precise and how patient you see Patel, where it kind of opens up these exchanges where now, before he shucked them off, but
he gets his right arm underhook back, then Pedro will end up on top.
Exactly.
Yes, and he does it.
Nicely done. Well done.
Good reversal from Pedro.
I mean, the question is, John, is he exhausted in this position?
I think Zayne might be the more tired of
Copy.
the two. But there's only 10 seconds left to go, and this is the third round. Now Pedro is starting to finally open up. We'll see. It might be a little bit too late. And that's going to be the end of it, but we'll see. This one's going to go the distance.
Here's what I would say. You know, I could understand being a little critical of Pedro in these rounds, but what I would tell you is the evidence that we have here, solid fight IQ all around, really understood where he would be opening it up to his opponent. And last little exchange, it is so risky opening up that guard, but as I mentioned, you're behind, you got to make something happen. And yet, even every time he looked like his back might be compromised, very good hand fighting, found his way out of it. It's just, this might be the case where somebody like Zayn Patel just edges him out today.
Yeah, and Zayne definitely had the wrestling advantage. He was getting the takedowns, and he was making those happen a lot. And here's another example of that. You can see, beautiful elevation there. Lifts Pedro, puts him down, ends in side control. And here's that Osotogari. And then Zayne flips it with the Uno reversal card, as Raf said. And Osotogari's Pedro. And here, it looks a little bit different towards the end of that third round. But we're going to find out right now who the winner is.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of action, we go to our scorecards. We have our decision. All 3 judges cage side scored the bout 30-27 in favor of our winner by unanimous decision, the red corner, Zayn Patel.
Hello, everybody. I am joined by your winner, Zayn Patel. Loco right over here, sir. That is your camera, but it looks like you're trying to find people. Who are you trying to find out there?
What's up, Dad? Behind you are a bunch of hating-ass motherfuckers. Yeah!
Okay. Let's go back. Hi, Dad. Good to see you. We're glad you won. That was an excellent fight all around. The wrestling was impeccable, sir. Tell me about this fight for you.
First things first, prayers out to the people that are affected by these fires. I hope everyone's safe. And then secondly, my brothers and sisters in Palestine have been getting genocided, not even a word, but for the last year, and everyone's silent. Let's speak up on the atrocities in the world because those brothers and sisters need us.
Thank you for that, sir. I did want to ask specifically, when you were in this fight, your wrestling was so good. You were great. You showed a little bit of everything here tonight. Did you have a favorite moment from this fight?
I actually want to say when he had me in a guillotine, I'm not going to lie, it was pretty tight. Definitely fought through that, and he let go on the grip. And so, yeah, that was my favorite moment, adversity. That's what we train for.
Sir, what's happening next for you? Where do we see you in the near future? It's an early 2025.
Yeah, you know, I always say I want to be active, and that hasn't always been the case because of school and whatnot. And I start again next week, but hopefully spring break, summer break, I'm active.
We want to see you back here, sir. All of the compliments to you and your team. Great work here, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for your winner, Zayn Patel.
Congrats again to Zayn Patel, and thanks to Raf for always pulling out the interesting information from these fighters. Curious, I mean, that's really interesting to hear from Zayn saying that his favorite moment of the fight was when he was caught in a very tight guillotine by Pedro, but was able to work through it. So coming back from adversity, I love to see it. That's a great sign of a future prospect of a pro MMA fighter that has a lot of success moving forward. So can't wait to see where he goes from here. And it looks like they're ready to announce the next fight already, so don't go anywhere. We should get that one underway in just a moment.